Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harley from the Fran Play, and we are going to be continuing on the Foundations path. I actually went ahead and we're skipping ahead through the Git installation and setup. So I'm going straight into the Git basics, so hopefully you guys have gone and read through that. So now we're going to go through this lesson, and if we're at this point, it means we're 25% done with the foundations. I'm hoping by next week we can be complete with the foundations path, so let's keep pushing. We're going to work hard and make sure everything gets done. Alright, so after you set up everything, you set up Git, and you just go through everything, but this shouldn't be that bad. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, so the Git basics, right? In this lesson, we'll cover common Git commands used to manage your projects and to upload your work onto GitHub. Oh yeah, and hopefully y'all read everything else, because coming straight to this lesson without doing the previous ones, you're not going to have everything installed. So make sure you install all of that. I only went through it because there was some reading materials and some videos that you had to go through first. A lot of good information on what Git is, because Git is just a version control system. And it's a distributed version control system, or a DVCS. So pretty much what it means is that we're able, the client, so where any, like, you know, the user, let's say you're working on a team, well, when we push our file on it through Git, okay, it makes a commit and it sets that file, but like it also saves it, and it also saves the initial file. Oh my goodness. It also saves the initial file, so that way in case you need to go back, you make an error, you can use Git to bring back a previous version. So instead of just like just pulling, let's say you have it on a server, like information on a server, like a file for a website, right? And you pull it from the server and put it on your computer, and you make changes and you put it back onto that server. Well, what if that server goes down? Okay, because you're only saving those changes to that server, and usually what you're doing with Git is you're having control of the version, so you're able to go back and forth, but it also saves it locally onto your computer. So it saves it locally, and it saves it in a repository online for other users to grab from. So anyway, enough explaining of that. Again, you can go ahead and read through all of that, and that's, like I said, I've said this plenty of times, but I'm no professional. I'm just trying to understand and interpret what I have in front of me. So, and that may not be correct at all, you know, but I'm hoping that I'm right. I think that's right. At least that's the understanding that I got from it. But okay, so anyway, in this lesson we'll cover common Git commands used to manage your projects and to upload your work onto GitHub. And make sure you have a GitHub account, which you'll also go through in the lesson, right? Okay, so like here's my GitHub account, and then I had some stuff that I was doing, but I want to change these to private. Oh, hackathon. Yeah, I tried doing some stuff, but what was that? June 2 contributions? Created 1 commit, One repository. What was that? Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, we got 3 stars, huh? Let's unstar those. Let's go to repositories. Is this a book? I believe this was a book. Ah, here we go. Right? I think it actually takes me... Oh, okay. Anyway. Those are some good books, but... okay, so we won't worry about that. I was just looking back in time. That's all it was. Okay. But upload your work onto GitHub. We refer to these commands as basic Git workflow. When you're using Git, these are the commands that you'll use 70 to 80% of the time. So if you can get these down, you'll learn more than half. You'll be more than halfway done mastering Git. So lesson review. This section contains a general overview of topics that you will learn in this lesson: how to create a repository on GitHub, how to get files to and from GitHub, how to take snapshots of your code. Before you start, GitHub recently updated the way it names the default branch. This means you need to make sure you are using a recent version of Git 2.28 or later. You can check your version by running git ---- version. So let's open up our command, and we're gonna run git version. So we're running 2.36.1, and if you haven't already, oh yeah, let's zoom in as well, so you guys can see a little bit better. If you haven't already, set your local default branch to main. You can do so by running git config --global init.default branch main. Boom. Okay. For more information on this change from master to main, see GitHub's renaming repository. Let's check out what this is. So here's the README. Many communities, both on GitHub and in the wider Git community, are considering renaming the default branch name of their repository from master. GitHub is gradually renamed the default branch of our own repositories from master to main. We're committed to making the renaming process as seamless as possible for project maintainers and all of their contributors. The repositories are up-to-date guidance on how and when to rename your default branch. We're not the only organization in the Git ecosystem making these changes. There are upcoming changes in the Git project statement code change, as well as coordinated changes from multiple vendors. We're making changes to GitHub in a few phases. Okay. So anyway, new repository use main as default branch. The default branch name for the repositories created in GitHub is now main to set the default, right? Each organization and enterprises are... Okay, so why main? Main is the most popular replacement for the master that we're seeing across GitHub. We like it because it's short, it keeps the muscle memory intact, and it translates well across most languages. We're using main for our newly created repositories and for the repositories we're moving now. Okay, so pretty much just saying we're going to be using main. Also, just leave it at that. Alright. Okay, you should have already created a GitHub account in the setting Git up listen. If you haven't done that yet, sign up here. Create a new repository by clicking the button shown in the screenshot below. So we're going to go here, hit that plus sign, new repository. Give the repository the name git test. In the repository, okay, actually let's do 2 windows, please. There we go. The beauty of having a big monitor, it works out so well for me. Oh, stretch. I've been reading too long. Again, make sure when you're studying and doing everything, make sure to take your breaks. I have been taking breaks. I'll take like a 10-minute break and then I'll come back, and then 10-minute break and then I come back. I just want to get as much done as possible. I really want to do this, and I know it takes time, and I'm not trying to rush it, but I'm trying to get to the parts that I kind of already know, which are some HTML, some CSS, and some JavaScript. And I want to go more on that, but of course you have to learn the basics. So anyway, we're going to name our repository git test. Right? In the repository name input field, give it Okay, check add a readme file, and then create the repository by clicking the green create repository. Okay, so it's going to be and we're going to check add readme, and then create the repository by clicking the create repository. Alright. Ooh. Alright, add readme. Oh, well that would be a lie if I put my first GitHub repo as an example here. But okay, so add readme file and then click create repository. Okay, this will redirect you to your new repository on GitHub. To get ready to clone this repository onto your local machine, click the green code button, then select SSH option and copy the line below. It. No, you must click the SSH option to get the correct URL. So we're going to click the green code button, select the SSH option, okay, so SSH copy. Let's use a command line, okay? And just to make sure, let's see where we are, right? Okay. So we're gonna make directory repos. And we're gonna cd into repos. So we created a directory and went inside. Once it's made, move to the okay. Now it's time to clone your repository from GitHub onto your computer with git clone. Oh, whoops. cd repos. There we go. Now it's time to clone your repository from GitHub onto your computer with git clone, followed by the URL you copied in the last step. The full command should look similar. Git space clone space URL. Git clone. Oh, whoops. Okay. Alright. No. We're gonna double do that again. Git clone. Go back here. Copy. There we go. Okay. Alright, and then we hit enter. So there it goes, cloning into git test. 3 objects. Boom. That's it. You have successfully connected the repository you created on GitHub to your local machine. To test this, you can cd into the new git test folder. Let's list it first. Okay, so let's cd into the git. So this is okay. Git folder that was downloaded, and then enter git remote v on your command line. This will display the URL of the repository you created on GitHub, which is the remote for your local copy. So we're gonna do git remote v. So we fetched it from GitHub git test. Git test. Okay. This will display the URL of your depository you created in GitHub, which is remote for your local, the remote for your local copy. You may have also noticed the word origin at the start of the git remote -v. Oops. Dang. Oh, my bad. You may also have noticed the word origin at the start of the git remote -v output, which is the name of your remote connection. The name of origin is both the default and the convention for the remote repository, but it could have just as easily been named Party Parrot or Dancing Banana. Don't worry about the details of origin for now. It will come up again in the near end of this tutorial. Boom. Okay, create a new file in the git test folder called hello-world.txt with the command touch hello world text. Type git status in your terminal. Git status in the output. Notice that your hello world is shown in red, which means that the file is not staged. Okay, so when it shows red, it's not staged. Sorry, my friends are distracting me. I need to put my phone somewhere real fast. Okay. So, let's read that. Get status. On branch main. Your branch is up to date with origin main, but you have untracked files. Use get add file. Get add file name to include in what will be committed. Nothing added to commit, but untracked files present. Use get add to track. So, try get add hello world text. This command adds your hello world text to the file staging area in get. So we're going to do get add hello world.text. And then the staging area is part of the two-step process for making a commit in Git. Think of the staging area as a waiting room for your changes until you commit them. Now type git status again. And in the output, you notice that your file is now shown in green, which means that this file is now in the staging area, but it still hasn't been committed yet. Now, type git commit -m add hello world.text and then type git status once more. So git commit -m add hello world.text and then type git status again. Git status and one commit. The output should now say nothing to commit, working tree clean, indicating your changes have been committed. Don't worry if you get a message that says upstream is gone. This is normal and only shows when when your cloned repository currently has no branches. It will be resolved once you have followed the rest of the steps in the project. The message your branch is ahead of origin main by one commit means that you now have newer snapshots than what is on your remote repository. You will be uploading your snapshot further down in this lesson. So, your branch is ahead of origin main. Type git log and look at the output. Git log. You should see an entry for your add hello world.text. Commit. You will also see details on the author who made the commit and the date and time of when the commit was made. If your terminal is stuck on a screen with end at the bottom, just press Q to escape. You can configure settings for this later, but don't worry about it too much for now. So, we did that. So that's the author. When we did our main, we added hello world on June 15 at 6:07. And then -500 I believe would be central time. And then initial commit. Cool. Okay, you also see details on the author who made the commit. Alright, next one. Yep, it tells us when. modify a file or two. Open the readme.md in your text editor of choice. In this example, we will open the directory in Visual Studio Code by using the command code dot. Okay. So we're going to open the README file. Add hello Odin to line 3 of the README, and then save. So, hello Odin. Save it. Back in your terminal, or in the fancy built-in terminal in Visual Studio Code, Control plus, Control minus. In here, Control plus, Control minus, Control plus, Control minus. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking a peek at what we have here. Okay. So type get status, you'll notice that the README now shown. Okay, whoa. Where is my terminal? So get status. You'll notice that .readme or the readme.md is now shown as not staged or committed. Add readme.md to the staging area with git add readme. Okay, git add. Okay. Can you guess what git status will output now? And it should be displayed in a green text. Cool. That means readme.md has been added to the staging area. The file hello world.txt will not show up because it has not been modified since it was committed. Open hello world.txt, add some text to it, save it, and stage it. You can use git add dot to add all files in the current directory and also subsequent directories into the staging area. Then type get status once more. Okay, so we're gonna go so open the okay, I was about to say. Okay, so now we have both the README and the hello world ready to be staged. So let's actually write down these specific commands, right? Okay, so we're going to write it down in steps. So step number 1, create a repository on GitHub. So repository on GitHub. To get SSH key, three, make directory for project, 4, go into project folder, 5, run git clone command followed by SSH key. We copied. Okay. Okay. And that's to pretty much run everything. Repo should now be on local machine. Okay. All right. And then of course you can add file, yada yada. Okay, you can now add files through command line. Get status. What was that word? Where was I at? I was on the get command line. There we go. Previous. Okay. So get status shows modified or staged files. Red equals modified. Green equals staged. And then you can use get add file name adds file to staging area, file to staging area. Okay, so get commit -m add file name this command commits changes to get to and to okay. We're actually gonna have to cut this one short. I have to use the restroom, but I will be back.